Welcome to Wavemakers, the podcast where we dive into the stories of bold thinkers, trailblazers, and innovators who are making waves in their communities, industries, and beyond. Together, we'll explore the ideas, challenges, and victories of people who are shaping the future. At Wavemakers, we bring you thought-provoking conversations with those who are pushing the boundaries, defying expectations, and creating impact in their own unique ways. While we're proudly produced by Rio Salado College, a place that values lifelong learning and community impact, this podcast isn't just about education. It's about real-world stories of passion, perseverance, and progress. So, if you're ready to dive deep into the big ideas and get inspired by those who are making waves, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wavemakers. Today, we are gifted with a set of guests who are both Rio, soon to be, I should say, Rio alumni. So I'm going to give you both an opportunity to introduce yourselves and maybe share a little bit about what you're studying, when you're going to be graduating, and maybe what brought you to Rio, especially at this stage of your life. Mari, you want to get us started?
Sure. Well, my name is Marielena Aguirre Foster, and I took my very first class at Rio in 2019. I'm a little bit of a late starter. This year, I am proud to say I'm going to be going into 9 years of sobriety from intravenous heroin and methamphetamines and 5 years from alcohol. And so recovery is really front and center when it comes to my personality and where my pride is. I am going to be graduating with my associates in addictions and substance use disorders, and then transferring over to ASU Barrett Honors College for public service and public policy with an emphasis in health policy.
That's incredible. I am so proud of you and excited to see what happens next. Goldie, can you share a little bit about your story?
Hi, yes, I am Goldie Johnson Pompey. I have been at Rio since January of 25. Taken tons of classes to hurry up and graduate so I can move forward with my career. I'm a student emphasis in law and public policy here, and I do graduate this spring, moving on to University of Arizona for a bachelor's in law. Believe it's the first one in the country and possibly still the only one. And then off to get my JD from University of Arizona as well.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what took you down that path. That's awesome. You know, you're here to talk about your experiences. You're not just students. You're also professionals, you're leaders, you're juggling life and work and academics. How does that all intersect here at Rio for you? Goldie, you want to start?
Sure. I would say at work, I'm also a leader, informal, but I'm a leader. A lot of people look to me for direction, questions, and I'm probably one of the older ones on my team at work as well. So I do feel this sense of like big sister in a sense, with looking out for individuals, trying to be a resource, trying to give as much information and knowledge on things as I can. I know sometimes it's hard for people to listen to their parents in this, right? We're talking about in college. No one wants to hear what their parents have to say. But when they look at me as a peer, it's like, oh, that's great information. And I'm like, I'm not your peer. But in the setting, it's very interesting how it all kind of flows together. Like the position of being a leader to people informally and formally, it just goes from work straight here to Rio with the clubs that I'm a part of as well. So.
And I'll have you share a little bit about that too. How about you, Mari? How does this all intersect for you?
Well, I am very fortunate for the opportunities I've had at Rio, not only really as a leader, but the actual curriculum. With my recovery, it is more unconventional, I guess you could say. I didn't go through a treatment facility. I didn't go through like rehabilitation. And so when I started taking classes, I really got to learn a lot about myself. And I felt like I feel like I've truly gone through my recovery even stronger being a student here. And then working in the field, I began about 5 years ago as a behavioral health technician, both inpatient, outpatient, and now I'm a case manager assisting people through their recovery that have recently been released from incarceration. And I really just help clients and I teach clients in the same way that I've learned about myself throughout these years. I've grown a lot as a person. Really, these past 2 years, I think, are the strongest as far as my personal development. And it's really just everyone I've met here at Rio as well. Goldie's one of them. You meet people that really just motivate you and teach you new perspectives, and you have to be really willing to embrace that as well. So I'm very thankful for it.
You mentioned when you started classes, so I want to ask both of you, why was Rio the right fit for you as a non-traditional student? You're not just right out of high school. You have a few years of life experience behind you. Why was it the right fit at that time for you? Goldie?
Sure. Online, that was the number one reason that I chose Rio. I work full time, and my schedule is a little flexible. So I figured if I chose Rio, I get off work at 2. I could start studying by 3 or 4, and it still felt like I had my day, right? By 8 p.m., some people are just getting home from work, and I'm done with work, and I'm done studying. So that was my first choice with Rio, but since I've been here, it has been the wonderful faculty, our amazing, amazing president, and the students. So, yeah.
How about you, Mari?
Well, when I first enrolled with Maricopa, I was about a year into my recovery journey. And really that took me just leaving a huge portion of my life behind. I didn't have many friends. A lot of them were still in the older lifestyle I was and still in active addiction. And so I wasn't really looking for just a college lifestyle. I always enjoyed learning. I always enjoyed school. And I had taken my very first college class was Psychology 101, and I took that at South Mountain. So I got my first in-person class, which was nice, but I'm a very social creature when I have to be, not when I'm in my learning environment and trying to soak up the information. So I quickly switched over to online, and it fits into my schedule now seamlessly because I need to be able to go and do my classes at 3 a.m. when that's the only window of time I found throughout that day.
That non-traditional student that both of you are, you found a fit here because of a lot of it having to do with the timing. But you also both found a place here. Share with me a little bit about beyond the classroom, what your Rio experience is like. Mari, why don't you start?
Sure. Well, so much credit goes to John Bastian because I had received my very first email from him for Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. I didn't know anything about it, but learning more, I wanted to get involved. And he was really my main contact. He would just reach out to me and support me. He started getting me opportunities, just being able to speak and share my story. The student life here is incredible. I haven't seen it anywhere else. They genuinely care so much. They've become not only incredible mentors to me, but truly friends. And they've just been able to bring opportunities to me before I even realized it's what I wanted. John Bastian was the one that told me 2 years ago when I told him what my goals were, what I wanted to see happen in the world. And he said, I think that's public health. And I thought he was crazy. And still, I owe everything to that conversation because he single-handedly helped to guide my professional and academic journey. He'll never take the credit for it, but he really owes it.
Goldie, what did you find when you came to Rio? Did you plan to get involved in student life and as a student leader, or did you fall into it? Were you just expecting to take classes? How did this fit?
So this is my second time around in college, right? So I figured I keep hearing, get involved, you'll stick it out if you're involved. So when I first signed up for classes, I also looked at esports. I'm a gamer. And I looked at Rotaract. I love to do community service. So I had no idea about PTK, wasn't really looking into that. I joined a Rotaract service event, I believe with Phoenix Rescue Mission, and I met Dr. Henley there. And Dr. Henley's talking to me, and she's like, "What's your GPA?" And so I'm like, I don't know. I just started." She's like, "I think you'd be great in PTK. You should join PTK." And then Kelly Suka, who was the president, I think at the time, she's like, "You should join PTK. You'd be great for PTK." And I'm like, "What is this PTK?" Right? And so we get back and I get an email, Dr. Henley, Ricky, Kate Packer, and I'm just like, what is going on? I'm kind of terrified, right? I just started with Rotaract and like I'm inconsistent a little bit. Esports hasn't replied to me, and that's what I'm really excited about. And after that, there was induction, and then there was just this huge like welcoming of people. I met Madi, and then they're like, "You should join regional," and I'm like, "I just joined this." It's like, "You'd be great," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll get involved in that as well." I love to say I'm an introvert, but no one will probably believe me. So that was just right up my alley. Just learning with people, just having a good time. It's not all about academics, it's building friends and family. So the student life department here has been absolutely amazing. I have been involved in so much that I didn't think I would be involved in. But Kate Packer, if you know her, she is very much, she sees your potential. She sees something in you, and she is not pushing you too far, but pushing you enough so that you can believe in yourself. And the same with the rest, Dr. Henley, Ricky, President Smith. She's also like, "Hey, there may be this opportunity for you." And I don't know how you could not then get as involved as you can, and just see different avenues and spaces that I never thought I would be in, honestly. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can see myself here now. And it's definitely because of the student life team, as well as the students. So
I love that. And you're right. There's so many opportunities through PTK, through Rotaract. Getting involved in student life, like you said, really helps you stick with it. You mentioned this isn't your first time going to college. What would you say to someone who's considering going back to college but worries that maybe it's too late?
I would say I thought this was my motto for 2024, and then it carried into 2025, and now here we are in 2026. Do it scared. I would say do it scared. I was not sure about going back. I was a little hesitant and a little terrified and like, okay, maybe I'll just take these classes and, slink in the back and just get through. But there's a bigger purpose. And sometimes you find that once you do it scared, right? You're just like, oh, I may want to go back, and you don't really have all the pieces, or you don't know everything that you're going to or want to accomplish. And once you get in there, you'll meet some amazing people. Your life will change, and you'll realize, your goals, your future, and the things that you may want to accomplish.
When you think back to that first day of school, Madi, if you could go back and talk to yourself, what would you say?
Oh, man. I'm always talking to myself. I will say that now. So I'm always telling myself something. There's always just another voice in my head that is analyzing the situation I'm in. But I was really scared, and I truly had no idea what to expect. And so I would just tell my past self it's going to turn out way better than you can even imagine. I don't just think to my first class. I think to Catalyst 2023 PTK. I had just joined. I was so new that understandably I wasn't going to be sponsored on the trip with the rest of the chapter. And so I was doing yard sales. I was working double shifts at the hospital at the time, everything I could to raise money to go. And I really still didn't even know what to expect. But I will never forget sitting in a hotel room like 10 minutes to midnight, and two of the women that were in the chapter with me were applying for the All Arizona Scholarship, and they were applying against each other and showing each other their essays and like swapping computers and, oh, you should change this. And I was genuinely just so mind blown. I had never seen support like that, or especially when you're fighting, you both are fighting for it. Um, it was so cool to see, honestly, at the time. I came back so invigorated. I wanted to be a part of this life, to be a part of just finding something that I'm really passionate about and sticking towards it. And as far as like advice I would have given, it would have just been to stay open-minded to the paths that I don't see. Because a lot of opportunities have been brought before me that I would question, or, oh, okay, I'll do it, but I don't really know what it's going to look like or what that benefit's going to be. And wow, when I stopped looking into what the benefit is, it just came. When you stop looking at life as what can this give to me and what can I give to it and how can I help others, it just naturally comes in abundance. And that's really how I felt. And I'm very, very fortunate for it.
You brought up such a wonderful segue into what I'm about to tell the audience. Both are all AZ academic scholars this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does this mean for your future? Maybe, Goldie, you could share a little bit about how you even learned about the scholarship and what you're gaining from it.
Oh, so I love medals. I will do anything for a medal, just to any sort of giveaway. Oh, go run 10 miles for a giveaway. Sign me up, right? So alumni Angela Lopez had on a medal at induction, and I'm like, how do I get that? He's like, this is all AZ, and he starts telling me about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to look into that. Fast forward, I had semi-forgotten about it a little bit, and didn't really understand, what all it was. I just, all AZ. And I was telling Ricky in Student Life when I graduated, she's like, oh, so you're going to apply for All AZ? And I'm like, what is All AZ now? Now we're on the topic. So she sends me over the application, and I'm like, law school is expensive. So if I could get the next 2 years taken care of, like, are you kidding? And so that's kind of where it began. I didn't really know what to expect. I had no idea how prestigious or limited the scholarship was, right? I'm like, oh, everyone can apply for All AC. Sure, you can, but only 2 people here will get it. So that was a little nerve-wracking. I'm like, these are my friends. And like, again, that big sister thing, like, I'd rather you have it than me, and kind of like disregarding myself in a sense. But that's kind of how I learned about it. And I'm still in shock, honestly. I'm still like, I won All AZ? Like, like questioning myself in the process. But it has been amazing to have done this alongside Mari, who has been awesome. And, she has that background of like what it is and how to prepare and how to be a partner to someone in that process. So thanks, Mari.
Keep Goldie.
Mari, how has this changed your future, this scholarship? And, you get to finish your bachelor's degree and you're not going to have to pay anything. That's huge.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I am also still in shock with Goldie. I think really what I'm most proud of is, it sounds so silly, but just that I accomplished this goal. I first heard of it about 2 years ago it was Cordero Holmes. He had just received All AZ. And he really took me in like as a little sister during that first trip. He was helping me a lot. And I told him, like, I'm going to do it just like you did. Like, what did you do? How did you make this happen? And he shared he had been a student senator. I applied, I was student senator last year. I loved it. He shared he was in the Student Public Policy Forum. John Bastian recommended SPIF to me because of my interest in public policy. I joined that, changed my life. I kept setting these goals for myself, or saying, I'm going to do this, and I would do it, and it's almost like I was distracted in the moment because of how much I loved it, that I forgot that all of it started because I wanted the All AZ, and because of the alumni that were leaving, they gave me the advice of what can help with that. The first major goal was the Civic Chancellor Medallion last year. And that was like, wow, I can't believe I've been thinking about this so long and I got it. And so when it finally came time to apply for All AZ, I was going to put it off another semester, but Ricky Karen, absolutely just adore her. I owe her so much as well. She gave it to me straight. She said, "You are never going to slow down. You are just as busy now, if not more so, than when I first met you. You need to just apply now." And yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. Everything Goldie said, I couldn't imagine not getting it because I would have had to put off school. I depend on scholarships. I'm fortunate right now. My associate's is through scholarship for the Access Behavioral Health Workforce scholarship that we had gotten the grant. I just got married last year. Me and my husband, I mean, we are struggling by like so many other Americans right now. And all I want is to go to school so that I can help those Americans, help myself, and as corny as it may sound, help the world. And so just those couple of days waiting for the answer, I really was realizing like I'm going to have to take a step back probably and just, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm such a dreamer. I thought that's what was going to happen. And when Ricky called me and then I found out it was Goldie, it was perfect. I truly could not be more thankful, more fortunate, more proud of myself, and to be alongside someone else who is just so strong. We're so happy.
We're so very proud of both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've both mentioned a lot of leadership roles that you've taken on since coming to Rio. Goldie, you came in January of 25. Mari, when did you start at Rio?
2019 was my first class.
Why is it, or I shouldn't say this, how has this shaped you? You're being a leader. Did you ever envision yourself as a leader in the past? Or so, if so, how has it changed you? Or if you didn't, how has this shaped you? Mari?
In so many incredible ways. I will say, being in recovery, it's not without the challenges that I had before I had gone into active addiction. I still have chronic depression. I have bipolar disorder, anxiety. And for a very long time when I was younger, that really just took over my whole personality. A lot of people don't believe me, but I really feel like an entirely different person in just how I treated others, how I viewed others. I didn't like to be around people. I truly didn't have much regard for them. It was just me being sad is really what it was. As I took on leadership roles, it's built so much empathy within me, not just in what I've learned as far as addiction and substance use disorders, but just mental health as a whole. I've also always been very perceptive and just aware of my surroundings. It's not just coming from anxiety, but I'm always very careful of how others may view me. And it started off as a very negative thing, always hyper fixating on that. But I've seen it within myself. Like I said, these past 2 years, I think, has been the biggest change in just my personality. Honestly, I'm very careful with how I'm speaking with others. I want to make sure that I'm lifting others up. I want to walk away from a conversation feeling like I helped that person. And so I came in really not knowing a lot of things and learning from people. And now I just can give that to others. And being a leader means so much because I want to show others how they can do that for others as well, and the gratification that it gives you. Because everyone can be selfish. There has to be a little bit of selfishness for us to be happy. And for me, that's just the way it feels to lift others up around me.
I love how much you embrace your story and you share it. This is not the first time I've heard you share your story. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. Goldie, how has it shaped you? Had you planned to be a leader? Is it something that you fell into?
I would say it's definitely something I fell into. My parents may not say that. Some of my siblings who think I'm bossy may not say that. But in this capacity, I was not looking to be the vice president of PTK chapter. I was not looking to be the vice president of the regional PTK for the Central District. I was not looking to be the president of our Rotaract Club. I just wanted to join a club. I wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to make sure that I put myself in crowds with people who were going after the same goals. But I guess other people saw leadership in me when I didn't necessarily see it in myself, or I guess when I was not looking to lead in a space. I can look back now and even think of my journey and why I decided now to go to law school. And I think it's because prior to this, I thought leadership was a title, right? Like, oh, this is the president of the United States. This is the captain of this boat. But that does not make you a leader, right? Just because of a title. And I didn't want to see myself in that way because there are some leaders who do not deserve the title. But now I see that it's the person, right? It doesn't matter if I have the title or not. I can still be a leader. I can still be looked at as a leader, even without a title. I have noticed that some people will ask me certain things or come to me for advice, and I'm like, oh, but you could ask, this person who's in charge of that thing. But they're looking to me as a leader because even without the title, it's who I am. It's how I show up for people. So although I did not start at Rio looking to be a leader, I can definitely see that leadership is part of who I am. When I first went to college, I was voted Miss Congeniality freshman year. And anyone out there listening who knows me is probably like, yep, that makes sense. But again, you just don't put all of those things together, right? How you show up for people, the good that I want to see in the world, the fairness that I think does not exist, that I want to show people can exist. I think that's what kind of drew me in and is keeping me here. And it's keeping me on my path, honestly. It's keeping me honest. It's keeping me with as much integrity as I started with. So although I did not see it, I see that's where I belong.
I can 100% see that. And I've certainly watched it myself through stories and your own involvement. Thank you so much. As we're finishing up our discussion, I want you to both think about, what do you hope people understand about non-traditional college students, about community college students after hearing your story? Mari?
I would say that they are some of the most dedicated students that I've ever met. To go about something the unconventional or non-traditional way means that you really want it. And that's really every student that I've met in all of Maricopa. I'm very lucky. It shapes who you are. You learn. Every class that I've taken, I've walked away just thinking differently. Even like my computer science class. I'm not a tech person. I felt so smart. I was so excited to be able to do the tiny bit of coding I did. You build confidence. You find direction, not just in your career, but in yourself. It changes how you treat people. I mean, these are all the benefits I've seen and all the qualities that I see in the students around me.
Goldie, do you have anything to add to that?
Absolutely. I think even looking at the financial side, sometimes people are like, oh, I have to go to college. I have to do this thing. And, you want to go to the Ivy Leagues. You want to go to the T14s for law school. And sometimes if you take a step back, you can still get to those goals, right? But because of the economy that we are currently in, you can start at community college. You can get family, right? It's so small that sometimes the needs that you need to be met can be met here. University, sometimes you're lost in all of that, right? Your advisor has this many students. Your student life area is huge. You don't really know where to connect or how to connect. So starting at community college, doing your 2 years, or even just for a year, right? Just getting some credits, getting a hold of like the changes that are about to come. And then apply to that Harvard, right? A lot of people don't realize that you can go from community college to Ivy League. It happens all the time. And especially when you're involved, and you just get some of those skills. Learning to write research papers with PTK. Like maybe you've never done that before. And even just in leadership in there, you can take some of those skills and apply for jobs now, you know? Oh, I've been the president of this thing. I've been the vice president of here. I've been the secretary. And you can just take some of that under your belt without having spent $60,000 a semester and move forward. It doesn't have to limit you to say like, oh, community college, it's just for people who, you know, don't know what they want to do. You can have a clear path and start at community college and still get to where you're going.
You phrased that just absolutely beautiful. Thank you both so very much for sharing your story with us. I have said it before. I will say it again. I cannot wait to see what the next few years brings for both of you. To all of our Wavemaker listeners, thank you for listening with us today. Look forward to hearing from you. If you have anything, let us know and come back for our next episode. Take care.